Okay, so this is going to be really windy because I don't have my microphone. Today we are Lake Colac here now, and here we have a Lake DT. So this is a salt lake. It's actually starting to dry. A lot of grass. Not really that deep. It's a bit shallow. But what you need to be careful of is snakes. Just follow the tracks of the kangaroos that they made. Pretty stinky. And now we are near the actual salt marsh. Okay, so this should be the edge of the actual lake itself. Pretty salty, and we have some of these reeds. I have this grown in my house, so this stuff does hurt. Actually, no. Yeah, it does a little bit. It doesn't matter. We have kangaroos with some different snails. So in good times, water should be all the way up here. And this is what a salt lake looks like. And we have a lot of these nice succulent-like plants. So these are probably total salt tolerant. And dead bird. So we're just going up to the shoreline. Just going to see the salt accumulation on this lake. So why is this salty? Well, basically all water, or most water, probably except for glacier water, which is pretty fresh, has salt in it, and it accumulates salt basically from the soil and the rocks, and if you're near the coast, from the spray from the ocean as well. So these salts are just ions. So the one that we know, and the one we probably find here, is sodium chloride. So an anion and a cation. Then you've got potassium and all the other stuff, calcium and other types of salts, which, so these are probably snails that probably pest snails. And then we have a smaller snail, so I'm not too familiar with what our actual gastropods are actually live here. Okay, so yeah, all this water has salt in it. So when there's a lake flow or a river flowing into this lake, it's bringing in salts. It doesn't matter how much. It can be like 1 gram per litre. But if there is no exit, it's like this now. So water is just stays here. There's nowhere for it to go. If it had an exit, it could actually take the salt all the way into the ocean. That's why the ocean is salty. So, and here we have frothing from the actual salt itself, and yeah, it feels salty. And this stuff is also salty. So basically what we have here is salts are being brought in here, and the only way it can there's two ways actually the water can escape from it. It can evaporate, or it can go into the actual aquifer. So dry. So in most cases, it's when the water evaporates, the salt is left behind. That's what we're seeing here. The aquifer is quite high, so it's you've got water in it, so there's no leaching in the aquifer at the moment. Although, with the lack of rain, eventually the aquifer water will lower, so the water table will go lower, and this will drain. And so, when we have rain or water coming in, it'll just seep into the ground and take the salt with it. So there won't be any salt accumulation that way. And here we have it. So this is really crusty. So what we have on the top of the soil is the salt. So here's the salt foam. And when you touch it, it feels salty. You also got silts and clays that are in it as well. So basically, but I can't smell, it doesn't smell salty. So basically that's it. It's a salt lake in Lake Bolac. Now, when you come to the newer volcanics, there's going to be quite a few of these salt lakes, and a lot of these are caused by the basalt damming. So the basalt forms a dam. So here's the actual salt lake, it's salt itself. Yeah, so a lot of the basalt dams dam like that. Previous lake, that river that used to flow. Via erosion from a fish, a weakness in the rock. It's just formed by an explosion. So eventually it might form a lake. Anyway, so that's basically what a salt lake is. So it's very interesting, and you can see on these plants a lot of the lake salt that's accumulated. Quite thick. So this stuff is not tolerant. So you need salt tolerant plants growing on this, which a lot of these are. Now on the hills it wouldn't be salty because the salt will be allowed to drain out into this lake. So there is no accumulation. And that's it from the road. I hope this helps you with a little bit of salt lakes. Maybe I'll do a few videos about how salt lakes form, because they're just a very fascinating phenomenon. They're not scarce in Victoria. There's quite a few of them actually. There's probably quite a few hundred salt lakes. But they can also be nestled next to, like there's another lake over there across that road, and that's fresh water. And there's a Lake Bolac, which is also fresh water. Anyway, thank you very much. Hooroo, mate.